Gonna hit our record button so I don't forget. JR, I believe, is also on the line. Thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Latoya Dawkins, and I'm going to do a brief introduction. We're so happy to be joined by Mr. I'm sorry, I am blanking on how to say your last name.
Siciliano, no problem.
Siciliano, Mr. Siciliano. Can we call you Mr. Marty? Is that okay
You
too?
can call me plain old Marty. Yes, that's fine. Yes.
Okay. We're so happy to have Marty on with us tonight to host such a wonderful virtual networking event. Hi, Marisha. Please say hello in the chat. Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us. So yes, as I was saying, we're so excited to host this virtual networking event for you all tonight. We are SOAR, Success Over and Above Reality. We are talking about financial health and wellness. This is part 2. And again, we're joined by Marty, who is an investment advisor representative with Primerica Advisors. And so we just welcome you to participate tonight. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat box. We have some polls, and Marty also shared that he will be doing some sharing of a presentation, as well as some multimedia videos as well, to just help engage all of you today. So we're going to be talking about credit, life insurance, and investing. So before I introduce and turn it over to Marty, I'm going to just share a brief video that provides just a bit more information about SOAR, our organization, and what we do. So please bear with me. Apologize, I'm having some delays. Give me 1 second.
Technology is wonderful when it works.
Yes, and I was going to ask if any of the board members has the video easily accessible. If you could also provide some support, that would be great, but I'm sure I will get it in a second. All right, and while you're waiting for me to pull this up, if you could just share in the chat box any questions that come off right on top of your head about finance or credit or just financial wellness, please feel free to drop that in the chat box. That would be greatly appreciated. All right, I think we are cooking now.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Cameron, and the founder and CEO of SOAR Hospitality and Travel. As a nonprofit organization, our mission is to empower our youth to become future change agents, excelling in their academics while leading the charge in the fields of hospitality, tourism, business, and entrepreneurship. Simply put, our goal is to encourage our youth by improving their self-esteem, strengthening their leadership abilities and qualities, developing their business etiquette, fostering independent thinking, and creating opportunities that can transcend into any business or entrepreneurial career path desired. Our programs are designed to meet our scholars where they are. We offer impactful experiences through hands-on simulations and interactive engagement. Whether virtual or in person, our scholars are stimulated and encouraged to partake in innovative and forward-thinking dialogue. Our classes are taught by some of the nation's most experienced entrepreneurs, educators, and other subject matter experts in their respective fields. We foster an environment where respect, camaraderie, integrity, and excellence are not just terms, but practicing lifestyles. Our intent is to prepare our scholars not only for the now, but for the bright future that awaits them. Our community engagement arm is an extension of the work we do, where our mission is also to support underserved communities.
I do want to do this business in the near future, and I know that every single thing that I've learned so far, even with things not regarding my business, that is going to be needed. So thank you very much again.
This program made me a more well-rounded person and more confident. I had a lot of fun and I enjoyed meeting new people. Thank you.
The resources we provide and our work to expand our reach through external collaborations, sponsorships, and partnerships continue to evolve, helping to bring much-needed light to those in dark places. Understanding that it oftentimes takes a village, we realize that our obligation is to ensure that our villages are strong, thriving, and equipped to support our future change agents, and SOAR is more than ready for the challenge. Interested in partnering with us? Or perhaps you'd like to sponsor one of our scholars? Well, there are endless opportunities for you to get involved. Visit us on our website at www.letsoarnj.org for more information, or contact us at info@letsoarnj.org. Help us pay it forward by planting the seed and watch our scholars' dreams come to life. Together, we accomplish more. Let's soar!
Bye.
Let's go! All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Just to learn a little bit more about our organization and what we do. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Marty, who's going to share our presentation today.
Thank you. That was worth waiting for. That was a really nice film. Appreciate it. Just by way of introduction, name is Marty Siciliano, and I'm a registered investment advisor with Primerica. And I have, over the last 40 years, been literally just helping people solve their financial problems. And I'm really happy to be able to share some of that experience with you tonight. And what we do is we just literally help people into, if they want, to fully financial independence. And so we're going to go over some principles tonight And they're very simple principles, nothing complicated. But these are the kind of things that we don't get taught in schools. We could, it's not very complicated, as I said, but we just don't teach it. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I do know that there are a whole bunch of people out there who are really happy to have people remain ignorant so they can be taken advantage of. So education is empowerment, and empowerment is independence. Wealthy people have the kind of money to attract financial advisors because they can make more money off of them. Middle income America really doesn't have the kind of wealth to get the kind of advisors with that same information to help them out. So I would also like to say that everybody here ought to congratulate themselves on being here to learn how to better their financial situation. We're going to go over some principles, but if you just listen to the principles and, kind of get a little bit of information and don't do anything with them, it's really not going to help very much. Okay. So what you really have to do, and one of the principles in here, is take control and take action to implement some of the concepts that we're going to talk about. Okay. If you keep doing the same thing that you've been doing financially for the last 5 years, the next 5 years are going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to leave you with some action steps and even give you some tools tonight to be able to implement and get where you decide you want to go, financial independence, whatever that means to you. Okay. So you got to take some action. And one of the tools, and maybe the main tool I'm going to give you, is a book called How Money Works. Now, How Money Works has over 30 million copies in print, and it's been around for about 45 years. If you go to Amazon and you look for the book How Money Works, what you're going to do is you're going to find 9 How Money Works. One of them is a real one, and it's the one I'm going to show you right now. We're going to give you a PDF of it if you ask us for it tonight. And if there are those of us who are not exactly technically oriented and you want a hard copy, we can get you a hard copy too. So let me figure out where my share screen is here. 1 second. Okay. Now this book, How Money Works, has 9 chapters in it, and every one of them is a gem. So, obviously, if you got a pad and a pencil and you're taking some notes, you really don't have to go crazy to take notes, because I find that if you go nuts when you're taking notes, you kind of miss part of what's being said. So just make some quick points, and this book will give you an entire chapter on everything we're going to talk about tonight, basically. Okay. Take control, pay yourself first, pay off debt, discover the rule of 72, buy the right kind of life insurance, defer taxes, become an owner, not a loaner. That refers to investments, investing with professional management, and really encouragement that anybody can do this, can accomplish what they want to financially if they work at it. Okay, take some of these principles and really work at it. So I'm gonna knock that off and see what we can do here. Okay. So I'm going to start with a video, and we're just going to let this young lady talk a little bit about money. Actually, I'm going to remember what Andre said, because I've got to check that little box, don't I, Andre? There we go. But everybody can hear us.
Money. For better or worse, it is one of the most powerful forces in our lives. It can create enormous opportunity, or it can tear families apart. The only difference is whether your money works for you or against you. Millions of people never get to enjoy their retirement simply because they made the wrong financial decisions. But it's not their fault. The truth is, we're not taught anything about money in school. How is that even allowed to happen? You work hard for your money. You should know how to make your money work hard for you. The key to financial independence is to learn and apply the simple concepts of something we call how money works. That's where Primerica comes in. We believe in a straightforward approach to money. Our company was founded on the basic, common sense principles of how money works, which are still the core values of what we do for our clients today. So, to understand your money, you need a sound financial education, and we believe it should be available to everyone for free. Primerica teaches families how to become properly protected, debt-free, and most importantly, financially independent. We deliver powerful concepts and strategies normally reserved for the wealthiest investors to people just like you and me. We know that taking the first step toward achieving your goals and dreams can be tough. But believe me, it gets easier. And once you start seeing results, it's empowering. Even if you don't do business with us, at least you'll learn the most important thing you didn't learn in school: how money works. After all, what's the worst thing that could happen to you? At the very least, you'll get a financial education that will help you for the rest of your life. At Primerica, we do what's right. It's the very essence of who we are, what we believe in, and what we stand for. Take the next step. It could prove to be one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life.
Oh. Gonna kind of go point by point here with reference to, first of all, you got to believe that you can accomplish something before you really accomplish it. And as you see how simple the steps are, I think the more you hear about it, the more that you can understand how it is believable. So you can get out of debt, and that's one of the biggest problems that we face in this country today. You can build savings, okay, and actually replace the debt with savings. And you can get on a path to financial independence, and it starts with believing you can and understanding you can, okay? The first point is to take control. And you got to do some basic principles like pay yourself first, adjust your priorities, adjust your lifestyle, earn additional income, which is really a key one, avoid the credit trap. Kind of we get sucked into habits if that we continue to do, and it just kind of drags us deeper into debt. And set goals and have a plan, and I mean a written plan. One of the things that we do for people is we provide a free financial needs analysis that really, whether they're dealing with debt or they're saving money for college education or retirement income or whatever, they have a written plan. And the odds are, if you don't write it down, you're probably not going to accomplish it. So again, taking control. You can't control the future of Social Security. If you've heard about, that's kind of like the equivalent of a Ponzi scheme. You can't control your employer. Okay. You can certainly change jobs, but you can't control your employer, can't control taxes, can't control inflation. All right. All that stuff is going on with or without you. You can't control rising costs, and you can't control the risk of a single investment. Okay. You can save for retirement. Okay. And take some of your retirement in your own hands, not really counting so much on Social Security. It'll probably be around forever, but just as a supplement. Other sources of income. I mean, just read your Social Security, the Social Security statement that you get, and it says, we're really not sure that we're going to be able to do this, but here's a projection anyway. Other sources of income is really a big deal. A secondary income can provide a whole lot of security and take a whole load off of your financial situation. Many ways to do that, and we even offer the ability to do that. Ways to reduce your taxes you can control. You can minimize your savings. You can save more and diversify your investment choices. You know, you shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket. You've heard that before. So it's very important to do that. pay yourself first is a very important concept. And it's something that you really have to get into the habit of doing. I think that's where my first video on this is going to be. Let me just make sure. Yep. So let's do this again. I think I should still be sharing this out.
Pay yourself first. Think you don't make enough money to save some of it? Think again. If you earn $25,000 a year for 40 years, you will have earned $1 million. Earn $35,000 for 40 years, and you've earned $1.4 million. And if you earn $45,000 for 40 years, you'd have made $1.8 million. Pay yourself first, and you can get ahead in the savings game. Here's what can happen when you save just $100 a month for 40 years. At 3% interest, you would have about $93,000. At 5% interest, you'd have about $153,240. And if you got 9% interest, you'd have about $472,000. That's the power of paying yourself first. After all, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep.
Okay. So I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on that. And let's see if I can swing this over without too much insanity. There we go. So just like the film said, you just take whatever your salary is, multiply it by the number of years you got left to work or intend to work. And that is a big number. Whatever number you're making now, that total over that period of time is a big number. So one thing that we show people is how to set up accounts to keep them from getting really sucked into the whole credit card syndrome. One is an emergency fund, because what most people do is they use their credit cards for an emergency fund. So even if you've got to juggle and struggle to set up an emergency fund, it'll help keep you out of that credit card syndrome. Short-term savings, very important. And you can use the word savings with that, because savings are usually put in places that are very low interest rates. You heard an interest rate mentioned of 9% in there. We comfortably get that for people, and I've been getting that for people my entire career, a 9% rate of return. A lot of vehicles out there that'll do that. And that's what you use for long-term savings. Investments. You don't save money long-term. What you really do is you invest money long-term. Using time and consistency is really a big deal. I'm gonna just put on that video real quick concerning time and consistency. I think it does a better job of me flapping my jaws. And really that's high cost of waiting. That's what we are.
The high cost of waiting. Want to save $1 million by age 67? You better get started soon. The longer you wait, the more you'll have to put away each month to reach your retirement goals. 27 years old? You have to put away $214 a month to reach $1 million. Start at age 37, and you're putting away $546 a month to reach your goal. Begin at age 47, and you have to put away $1,497 a month. Wait until age 57, and you're putting away a hefty $5,168 a month. Wait until the last minute, age 62, and you'd have to stash $13,258 a month to reach $1 million by age 67. So, the sooner you start saving, the fewer dollars you'll have to put away each month to reach your retirement goals. Don't pay the high cost of waiting.
I'm going to try not to get anybody very depressed tonight, because of you start looking at what kind of numbers you have to put away. But the fact of the matter is if you just look at the number that he started talking about, $1 million, most people cannot conceive of themselves having $1 million in one place at one time. Okay. And that's the first place you have to begin is with someone's belief systems. Okay. And I think you guys as an organization do that. Okay. You have to stretch people's minds a little bit and show them what's possible. So now if you believe that that's the kind of money that you're going to need to take care of yourself or multiples of that, depending upon your age, okay, then you start getting serious about how you really accomplish that. Okay. And there's a wonderful concept called the Rule of 72. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but what it says, it's real simple banking principle. It says if you take the interest rate that you're getting and in this case, we'll talk about 3%, okay? And you divide that into the number 72, the answer, which is 24, is how long it's going to take your money to double at that interest rate. So if you took $10,000 and you put it in there in 24 years, it's going to grow to 20,000, and in 24 more years, going to go to 40,000. So you'll be able to retire like at the age of Moses, 651 years old or whatever it was. Okay. At 6%, you divide that into 72. Now the answer is 12. So you go from 3 to 6. Your money can double every 12 years, but you think you're going to have twice as much money, but it's 4 times as much. Okay. And then take it to 12%. And again, this is just these are illustrative numbers. Okay. It's going to double every 6 years. And it's just mind boggling the difference between even the 6 to 12%. Okay. It's a little more than double. All right. So it's worth it to go out of your way to learn, to do whatever you got to do to get your hands on a couple more points of interest. And we talk about and we show people 9% and have gotten people 9%. And that's the kind of number we shoot for. And it pays to start investing early, but there's a saying, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? Now. Okay, so you start where you stand. You can't, commiserate about, how I should have started back when I was, and everybody should have, when I was younger, but just start where you stand. So if you took $1,000 at a 9% rate of return, the amount accumulated at 67 would be a little over $400,000. Okay. If you started at birth for the person, okay. If you started at age 16, right? So just 16 years, that number is 96,000. And if you started at age 40, okay, the number is 11,000. So get started early. And I really love talking to young people and young couples and stuff like that, because if you get them thinking right about how to do whatever they've got to do to put some money aside over just such a long period of time, has an amazing effect. And I've been around long enough to see the fruits of that. You know what I mean? This is just taking $100 a month and versus $20 a month. So stretching yourself a little bit more. Instead of 20, doing 100. In 10 years, instead of 39, you have 19. 20 years, 67 instead of 13. 30 years, 184,000, okay, versus 36, and 471,000 versus 94. That's a big deal. Okay, that really is a big deal. And the sooner you begin to save, the greater the potential growth. Okay, we're talking about someone who's starting at 25 years old, and at age 67, they got $566,000. Start 1 year later, okay, and they've got $49,000 less. Wait till age 30, $209,000 less. Wait till age 40, you got $429,000 less than if they started earlier. So again, just use it as an incentive to start now. But I know all you guys are like just a little over 25 or something like that, I'm sure. You got plenty of time. And again, this is just how double your interest can quadruple your savings. If you went from 4.5% to 9%, talking about having instead of 175,000, 746,000. Okay. Now paying off debt. This is an interesting one, and it's one deserving of more time than all the rest of it. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this one concept that's a really great concept, and it's called debt stacking. And it's pretty self-explanatory here, but I'm going to get into it a little bit more in detail than this video shows. Okay.
Debt stacking. By taking into account the interest rate and the amount of debt, debt stacking identifies an ideal order for you to pay off your debts. You begin on making consistent payments on all of your debts. The debt that debt stacking suggests that you pay off first is called your target account. When you pay off the target account, you roll that payment into the payment you are making on your next target account. As each debt is paid off, you apply the amount you are paying to that debt to the payment you are making on the next target account. Debt stacking allows you to make the same total monthly payment each month toward all of your debts and works best when you do not accrue any new debts. You continue this process until you've paid off all your debts, and when you finish paying off your debts, you can apply that amount toward creating wealth and financial independence.
So what you're actually doing there is you are replacing debt with savings. And this is that concept, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to pay off that first retail card of 220. And then when that's done, you're going to take that 220 and put it on top of the 353 and pay that card off. And then you're going to do that to the following card and the following card and the following card. And ultimately, what this $1,200 number over here on the bottom right is, it's actually the person's mortgage. Okay. So they can actually go ahead and apply that down and pay off the mortgage. Now, the net result of that is just going the way that they were going without debt stacking, just paying those amounts. They go 23 years to pay it off. The interest they'd pay is $214,000, and they're paying $27.20 a month. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that same $27.20 a month, because we're not going to not increasing that, but doing it on the debt stacking and paying it down the way we just talked about. It's paid off in 9 years, so it's 14 years sooner. Save $130,000 in interest, okay? And so it'll pay only 83 in interest, and still the cash outlay is the same. That's a big deal. The key to it is, you know, it could work to a lesser degree if you continue to spend money, but if you can stick on that, it's just devastating, devastatingly positive to what you can do for your financial situation with that. So people have, you know, some common credit mistakes. Okay, they don't value their credit like they should. You know, they keep taking credit card limit raises every time they get their hands on them, and ultimately using them, not monitoring their credit history, not monitoring their credit score, and not knowing their interest rates and their fees. Okay, you have to be aware of this stuff. Okay, so let me just switch out here. The first thing that that I have found in dealing with people, because we do mortgages, we were actually owned by Citibank for 15 years, and we did a lot of mortgages with them, and now we're affiliated with Rocket Mortgage, and we're kind of setting a nice fire with those guys. And we use it a lot. We use the mortgages a lot for one second here, I'm trying to find my credit report. We use the mortgages for debt consolidation. you know, the days of refinancing at 1.5% are over, but you can save people a lot of money by doing a wrapping a debt into to a regular mortgage, you know. So this is a credit card. I mean, this is a credit report. What you got to do is you got to look at your credit report. You got to do it annually. You get a free one annually. And at the end, I've got a slide that has the 800 numbers for all three major credit bureaus. If anybody wants to look into it for themselves, you kind of order it from one and then check it out, make some changes if you need to, you know, contest some things, because I have seen, and even in my personal situation, I have rarely seen a credit report that doesn't have some kind of an error on it. Okay. And that error can affect your credit score dramatically. And affecting your credit score dramatically can cost you a lot of money. It can cost you more money in automobile insurance because they check it. It can cost you more money in the credit cards. It can cost you more money in a mortgage if your credit isn't really good. So you really have to check your credit report. And you know, and it really, if any of you guys ever need any help with any of this stuff, I'm happy to volunteer my time and help you out. It's kind of what we do anyway. So you can look here and you see the applicant information. He's down in Texas by Andre there. Some information, score information. You got the credit score on here, and then fraud check information if they've ever had their any problems with credit fraud, public record items, okay, and and then it gets into your credit history. But one thing I'd like to just mention right now is that one of the biggest areas of ripoff on the planet are people who claim to be able to clean people's credit reports up. Okay. If you got mistakes, anybody could do that. If you got, you know, you can challenge things that aren't right and all, but you can't magically make things disappear. And there's just a constant war, constant butting of heads of the credit reporting companies and the people out there who make their money just trying to confuse things and get things off there that aren't just, and they have literally changed entire systems and entire methodologies of getting things off your credit reports, because there are people out there who try to play games with it. And the really great article I was just reading about how they used to take an item out off if it was contested. They don't do that anymore. So it's really hard to get around what's really supposed to be there. It takes 7 years to get a derogatory remark off of your credit report, and it takes 10 years to get a bankruptcy off your credit report. Okay. And you can look in here and you can see what the present status and balances on the accounts are, historical statuses. Okay. You can see how long the person, how many times the person's been late, 30, 60, 90 days. And you really have to pay attention to that stuff, because a piece of information that is not accurate, especially in the area of how you make your payments and in the area of your balances, really can mess your credit up. Okay, so that's what a credit report looks like if you haven't seen your own, but you should get your own and take a look at it. You can see it in here. This is a totally phony one, by the way. This is I just had to take an interstate mortgage test, and this is the one they used as an example. You know, write-offs, things that are, you know, bankruptcies, car repossessions, all of that stuff is on here. Okay. And by the way, when we're done, if anybody has any questions, you know, I might be able to answer on any of this stuff. I'd definitely be happy to do that. Happy to do that. So back to, let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. I think I hear somebody snoring out there. I don't know. When people sleep. Okay. Now in this area, buy the right kind of life insurance. Just gonna hit this real quick, okay? Our
So
concept
Marty,
is, yeah, go ahead, sure.
I'm sorry. This is Rosie. How are you?
Oh, there you are. How do you do?
I'm doing well. So we have a couple of our scholars on the line, and I actually wanted to see if they had any questions, because this is when you talk about the credit and just knowing about their credit scores and understanding the value of a credit score. I know you talked about it on a more of a personal level, but we covered even, from the business perspective, right? Because we teach business and entrepreneurship as well. And so I'm curious to know if the scholars remember, because it wasn't that long ago that we covered this, if they remember this and if they have any questions about what we covered versus what you covered.
Sure.
If they see the consistencies, or if there's anything that, they have any questions about. I know that we have both of our top scholars on the line today, so I'd like to give them an opportunity if they have any questions.
Sure.
Yes, I have a question actually.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Sorry, my name is Prince Pierre.
It's you. How do you do?
I'm doing good. The question I have is, what is the best time to start investing? Will it be 25 or as soon as possible in a specific age?
As soon as possible. As a matter of fact, and I know you want Rosie was talking about credit, but let's show you something here, because, and we're going to get to it eventually anyway. Here, this is a piece that talks about the time value of money. Okay, so we've got a situation where we've got a person who's going to start putting this is $6,000. There's now $6,500 into an IRA. They start when they're 22 years old. Okay, and they go for 7 years. They put $48,000 in. Okay, and then they don't put any more money in. Period. Just let that cook. Okay, until age 67. And they have $2.2 million. Okay, and then we'll get another scenario is you have somebody that does what I and most people do, which is spend money on cars and who the heck knows what else, and don't put any money away in their younger years, even though you're working. I was working, I was making a bunch of money in this period of time. Couldn't tell you exactly what I did with it, and wouldn't want to tell you what I did with some of it, but and then this person doesn't start until they're 30 years old and put $6,000 away a year, and they put $228,000 away a year, and they actually have less money, just a little over 2 million versus 2.2 million, than a person who got it socked in there early. Okay, so the idea is the best time to start investing, and that's why I love talking to people like you. How old are you?
I'm currently 17 years old.
Say it again.
I'm 17 years old right now.
Perfect. Okay, so we could do this. This is your case if you want. Okay, you figure out how to put as much money. I mean, even could be $100 a month. Get in the habit. As you can make more money as you grow older. You just keep on increasing it, but get something going in there. Okay, we show people how to put money away for as little as $50 a month, no money up front. So if you can scrape together $50 a month, and most people can do that. We can show you where to put it and really make it work for you. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Cool. Yes, sir. Thank you. Anyone else about the credit or anything else that monetarily related here? No? Hey, Rosie, shall I continue, or
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to give them the opportunity.
No problem. So in talking about life insurance, our concept is called buy term and invest the difference. What the rest of the industry does out there is they bundle up the cash value and they bundle up, the investment side, quote unquote, and the protection. Okay. You never know what you're really paying for the protection, and you never know what, and have no control over what your money is doing. It's all bundled up. Okay. What we do is separate the two. You buy term insurance inexpensively, covers you for the death benefit, okay, income protection if you need it, and then take the money and put it into a real investment that you have complete control over. If you don't like the way that the insurance company is handling your money and it's all bundled up, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. If you're in an investment and we sit down every 6 months, every year, and we look at the investment and you say, I think I'd rather get a little more aggressive, or I think I'd rather change, and we change it. It's completely in your control. Okay. And so you got the best of both worlds. And it'll turn out that you'll have more money and more death benefit. Okay. So what this points out is the importance of life insurance, and we talk about how much is your car worth? Whatever it is, you insure it. Yeah. How much is your house worth? Do you insure it? Absolutely. How much is your life worth? We're just looking at $50,000 a year of income times 40 years, a couple $1 million. Okay. So it's probably a lot more than your house or your car. How can you afford not to insure your life? Okay. If you're in a situation where you need it, which is another thing. When you're young, okay, have young children, high debt, house mortgage, a loss of income could really be devastating to the family. So you have a peak need for insurance protection. As you're growing older, children grow up, lower debt, mortgage is paid off, retirement income is needed. So if you save money on the protection, you put that money into an investment, and you get out to retirement time, you're going to have more money in cash than the insurance company was ever going to give you in death benefit. Okay. And the other thing is the fact of the matter that, most people are going to live to be 65 years old. So they're really not going to need the insurance, but you have to cover yourself for that contingency if you have a family. But survey after survey, people don't think they're going to die when they're younger. But what they really have a problem with is they feel like, most people, survey after survey, feel like they're going to outlive their money. And they're more concerned about that than dying. Okay. Just like more people are concerned, are more frightened of public speaking than dying. You probably heard that. Okay. So this is just the way that life is. And the concept of buying term and investing in difference goes along with this perfectly. So a bunch of experts have to say term insurance is really pure protection, like fire, automobile insurance. Big policies are what you need. You got Susie Orman. In my opinion, there's only one kind of life insurance that makes sense for vast majority of term life insurance. You've got many, Wesley Universal Life Insurance. Experts typically recommend term life insurance over universal and whole life. Same, just goes on and on and on. There's a gentleman named Dave Ramsey, who you may have heard of. Does it? He has a big radio station spread across mainly the southern part of the country. But again, buy term and invest in difference. So it just goes on and on. But the insurance companies just keep coming out with marketing. The latest one is called, we call it funny banking, but it's really using an insurance policy to save money with, and it's just an inferior way to go. It's just marketing. So our philosophy: never buy any kind of cash value or whole life insurance, including universal life. Never buy life insurance as an investment. Okay. And never buy a life insurance policy that pays dividends, because the government says that dividends are a repayment of overpayment of premium. So, now talking about deferring taxes and, let me
Right.
see if
I
I
have a
have,
question on that,
yes, sir.
on your previous slide, about the whole and the universal. So, I guess from my understanding, the whole life insurance offers a couple different options in terms of what you can do with the investment. So, for example, term, as far as I understand it, if you don't pay or you stop paying, you lose it. Versus where a whole, there's a cash target, and if you pay into that and you stop paying after that, let's say 10 years, that money's isn't going anywhere. Like that money is yours, and then the dividends will continue on that.
Right. Well, if you take the same amount of money that you're paying for the whole life insurance policy, and this is how we do a proposal, and by law, we have to, when we're replacing an existing policy, we have to put, send a copy to the opposite company, and we have to keep a copy, and if there's any discrepancies, the other company can come back at us and, we get into a whole governmental thing. But if you take the same amount of money over the same period of time, you will beat the whole life insurance handily. I'm talking about 2-3 times usually. And what you can do with the term and invested difference as far as paying the premiums, if you take the same amount of money, you can actually set it up so that if you wanted to use the money that you're saving elsewhere to pay the term insurance premium, if you got into a rough spot, you lost a job, or you saw another investment you wanted to get into, so it's going to affect your cash flow, whatever, you can set it up so you can use that money. So you can do anything with the term and invested difference concept that you can do with the whole life. You're right, it is a selling point. I mean, I've heard that my entire career. It is a selling point, but you can do the same thing with the term and invested difference. Yeah.
Okay, and then can you have the term pay out the death benefit to a trust as well?
Absolutely, you can be owned by a trust. Yep. Yep. Okay. And you got to be careful with that, because the majority of the policies that I come across, even bigger ones, so that if somebody dies and it's not, it's usually in their name. If nothing else, you don't have to worry about estate taxes for most people, but even a state death tax on that. Okay, if it's not owned correctly, preferably, like you say, in a trust, it can impact the death benefit. Yep, absolutely.
Now, the universal life, wouldn't that be, I guess, a version where, because I think with universal life, you could invest in more specific, investments. Like you could say, I want to invest in these stocks or these funds versus just the standard life insurance index, let's say.
Well, with the universal life, they usually tie it to an index like the S&P 500 or Russell 2000 or something like that. Okay, so it's not individual stocks, but they tie it to an index. In a variable universal life policy, because there's all mix and match combos of these things. In a variable universal life policy, you can put it into stock funds. So they'll have clone funds, you know what I mean? But I've never seen one that can do individual stocks, but they can do stock funds. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You've been around out there bumping into this stuff. Huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to learn and understand it all.
Yeah. Well, and again, if you ever want to talk about it sometime, just informationally, I'd be happy to help you. Yeah. Deferring taxes. I don't believe I have a. Nope. So deferring taxes is a very powerful thing. Okay, it's one of the, as a matter of fact, it's one of the selling points in the whole life and universal life policy. You can do it better in an investment, but they use it. Okay, so got three things going on here. One is no taxes deferred. 2 is taxes on the return deferred, and then taxes on the contribution. Okay. So, and again, as far as whether something should be tax deductible for anybody personally, they should talk to their CPA or their tax accountant. Okay. I do not give tax advice. You say I'm not an accountant. I don't play one on TV. But these are the numbers and the facts. Okay. If you put money away, no taxes deferred. Okay. Um, over 10 years, what is the contribution here? Monthly contributions of $500. Okay. So $500 a month for 10 years. If you're not deferring the taxes, it would have $64,000 of value. If you are taxes on the returns of it are deferred, you'd have 72,000. And if the taxes on the contribution and returned are deferred, okay, until distribution, when you take it out, you'd have $96,000. Okay, because you're making money on that money and you're paying 0 taxes on it, so it compounds faster. Over 20 years, okay, no taxes deferred, 191, 250 on returns, and totally deferred 300,000. Over 30 years, 400 versus 600 versus 900. Okay, and 30 years rather than over 40 years, 900,000, 1.7 million, and 2.3 million ultimately. So the longer that you let those returns sit in there and cook without being taxed, okay, like in a Roth IRA, like in your 401k, like in a traditional IRA, okay, all those deferments are really, really powerful over a long period of time. So a deduction is the amount of money you can subtract for your gross taxes. A deferral means you can postpone the payment. Just kind of skip around to this, want to get too deep in the weeds with this. But with respect to IRAs, you can, a regular traditional IRA is deductible. You can do a traditional IRA that's not deductible, depending upon how much money you make, the deductibility phases out. Okay, so there's a whole schedule for that. And then Roth IRAs are not deductible, but they're also not taxed at withdrawal. So if you are able to put money into a Roth IRA, it's probably a good thing. Okay. So traditional IRA is deductible, and this number has gone up to 6,500 for this year. This is last year's numbers. Traditional IRA, not deductible, pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Roth IRAs, they're just really just, that's the deferral on the taxes, and even when you take it out, you don't pay any taxes. And this is what we were talking about before. This is just such a great thing to show younger people when when they have a question like that gentleman earlier did, So. And then this is like near and dear to my heart, okay? Because this is something that everybody's got to understand that saves any kind of money, okay? And wants to invest, okay? It's become an owner, not a loaner. Because pretty much maybe you've heard the expression, children don't come with instructions. Well, money doesn't come with instructions either. You get your paycheck and you're on your own. If you're fortunate enough to have, parents that understood some of this stuff and pointed you in the right direction, then God bless you, but most people didn't. Okay. I know I didn't. That's just like, my parents couldn't teach me to fly a 747 because they didn't know how to fly a 747. They couldn't teach me anything about money really. They saved it, but they never invested it. So it could, so I never really learned about it until I got into this business. And that was in 1979 originally. So become an owner, not a loaner. bypass the middleman. We are literally trained to get our money and go down and give it to the insurance companies, the savings and loans, credit unions. Okay. They take our money, they go into the global economy, make a whole lot of money on it and give us peanuts by comparison. So we show people how to go around them through the use of mutual funds. Okay. And that can be an absolutely amazing thing to help us out. It can help us out in retirement because, you know, everybody in the financial business use the analogy of a three-legged stool to provide income at retirement. One was Social Security, and that's the future of that is shaky. The other is personal savings. And again, you're in control. You're the only person that can control that. And company pensions. Well, you know, if you work for the government in any fashion, whether it's federal government or, you know, teachers and that kind of stuff, and you have maybe access to a pension. But there are very few companies anymore that have pensions. So really, if Social Security is shaky, personal savings is steady, company pensions aren't there, you really got to take care of yourself and plan on taking take care of yourself more. Okay. And what you got to do is you got to get a decent rate of return. So we're looking at the growth of a $10,000 investment, okay, from December 31st, 1991 to 2021. Okay, this is an old slide, but today it would look better. Okay, the S&P 500 over that period of time got 10.64%. That's why I'm comfortable saying 9%, and that's why we perform that way, because the kind of investments that we show people are basically around the S&P world. Okay, bonds 5.28%, 30-day treasury bills, and they've gotten better now. Okay, US inflation, this has gotten worse. Okay, so you know, if this got worse, okay, then you better be counting on something like this if you're putting money away for long term. And investing with professional management. We do managed accounts and mutual funds with people. And they're basically the same kind of an animal, except managed accounts are like mutual funds on steroids. And I don't know how I'm doing with time here, but I will be done as soon as you want. All you got to do, Rosie, is say, shut up, and I'm done. So
I wasn't sure if you wanted to do any of the poll questions, or if you had done any.
Daggone it, I forgot about it.
It's okay. Right. At this point, it's okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just out of curiosity. Just two of them. One is anybody dealing with professional management of their money? And then on the other one, have they recently reviewed their credit report? So if you could do either one of those whenever you're ready, you want to do them right now or whatever, and that's cool. I'm just curious.
Yeah, sure. So is it the one about the budget, using a budget to monitor?
You could do that one.
Okay. I'm trying to see.
All right, yeah, put everybody to work. That's good. I like this.
Okay. All right. We're gonna launch the first poll, everyone. All right.
Yeah,
the first poll has been launched.
Yeah, just go ahead and
question.
If you would help us out, see where everybody's head is at.
Do you use a budget to monitor and guide your spending? Oh man, because I'm launching the poll, I can't answer the question. But I'll say sometimes.
I'm not.
I'll answer.
I'm not seeing the poll.
You're not? Is it? I see everyone else.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe because I'm signing into the admin account too. All right.
yeah,
No.
probably.
All right, Rosie, I'll answer for you.
Okay.
Is it yes or no? Oh.
I put sometimes. All right, I just shared the result. Can everyone see?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Wow,
awesome.
that's pretty evenly split. Cool.
Yep. All right, you want to go on to the next?
Yeah.
Retirement plan? All right.
Yep.
Let's do this. Uh-oh.
You're good at this technical stuff, huh?
Well, I was initially able to launch and now I'm not, so I don't know what
Uh-oh.
just happened, but
Spoke too soon, huh?
yeah. Jared, did you take over? I don't know what happened, but
No,
I'm not, because the poll has
I
been
didn't do
launched.
anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Did you close the other one?
Yeah. Oh, looks like Roberto's coming back. Okay, let me. Oh, it looks like I guess someone else was answering the poll. Okay. I'm going to launch the second, which is the retirement plan. Does your employer have a retirement plan / 401k or other type? And again, I can't answer, but I can say yes.
What do you, is it yes or no, Rosie?
Yes.
All right, cool. I answered
Yeah.
for you.
Okay, thanks. All right. Okay, it looks like we have our 83% here. I'm going to share the results, and 83%, 5 out of 6 said yes.
Good.
One said no. Interesting.
Yeah, well, could be a person who's self-employed, because I have my own plan.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
Very true. All right. You want to move on, or do you want to do one more poll?
No, everybody into it? Do one more. Pick anyone.
Okay. You asked about the credit report. Have you recently or ever reviewed your credit report? Yes, yes, and yes.
Oh, yes? Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What are your thoughts on Credit Karma, Marty? In certain circles, I've been hearing folks saying that they don't believe the Credit Karma scores and information is accurate.
Okay, you broke up a little bit. What are my feelings on what? I'm sorry.
Have you used Credit Karma, the website
Oh.
or application?
Yeah.
I was saying certain circles are saying that they don't believe that it's accurate.
Hey, can you let them out?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, recently. Okay, 83% said recently reviewed and 17 said never. Wow. Well, get to it. Yeah, I have heard good things about Credit Karma. Never dove into it myself. Okay. But to my mind, it says, you should check it. You should see what it has to say and then check it against other sources, I think. But I've only heard, decent things about it. I'll look into it a little bit. Yeah, I'm curious now. Yeah.
No problem.
So Marty, I did want to bring to light that one individual out of 6 is the 17%. I wouldn't be surprised if it was probably one of our scholars, right? Because they don't, so they probably don't have any credit established as of yet. So
yep,
that would likely be
good point.
The reason for that.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. So Roberto said he doesn't have any credit cards or anything. Good for you. And as Prince as well.
And then make sure that you look at your credit report, because maybe somebody else has a credit card in your name, especially if you're young. They start stealing social security numbers at birth anymore. So you got to check for that kind of thing. It's not the kind of thing you normally think about, but it happens. Since they're
And
free.
I think that's an excellent point too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Marty. I
No,
just
go
wanted I wanted to echo that, because I think that's an excellent point to make with our scholars. As they are growing and learning more about, financial independence, really understanding, especially in this day and age where everything is shareable, all of our information is digital. And it's very easy to get caught up in, scammed now. Click here, click this link and open up this account here, or your account has been deactivated. Click this link to reactivate, and it could be easy for them to fall prey to that. So I definitely think that's a great point. Not just with your social security number, but any information that's,
Right.
PII or, public information or private rather information of the individual. So yeah, great point.
Yep. That's it's called NPI, non-public information, right? They get their hands on all kinds of stuff. Well, we do when we're taking DocuSign, if you use DocuSign, they have Nexus Lexis questions in the front of when you first go in to identify you. So they just go out into all the data that's out there on the loose, public information about you, and come up with these questions that are absolutely crazy. What's your cousin Tony's birth date? Now, how do they know, that you've got a cousin Tony? I mean, I've seen this kind of thing. What car did you own in the past? And Toyota, Chevy, this, and stuff that is just absolutely scary. Okay. So to keep an eye on all of this stuff, and we have some legal programs that we deal with, but we also have identity theft. And it's a great idea to get an identity theft product, okay? Just for, exactly this reason. I mean, I personally had somebody open up 2 checking accounts with debit cards and a credit card in my name in my bank, okay? And for some reason, they, I opened up the mail, and in the mail was 2 checkbooks, 2 debit cards. It came to me. I have no idea. It must have been rather dumb thieves, but I mean, and it showed up. And this was years ago, and I got my own credit monitoring service, and things have shown up that I've actually stopped. So it's just a good idea to keep an eye on that stuff, and I just can't trust anybody these days, So getting back to the mutual funds, these are just great vehicles. They're pooled assets, billions of dollars that they go ahead and put into the economy. They manage it. It doesn't take any time, doesn't take any expertise. And it's just a really great vehicle to use. Okay. And I want to play one real quick. Well, actually, I'm not even going to play the video because I'm kind of taking too much time here. So what I just want to do is and I'll even end it with this. Okay. This is about what's called dollar cost averaging. And that is, if you're putting money into the market every month, like you would in your 401k, this is taking $100 a month, and you're putting it into a rising market. Now, everybody thinks that they would like to see the market just go up. So you're taking $100 a month and the market's going up, which it never does exactly like this, but this is a scenario that a lot of people think they'd like to see. So over that period of time, over 6 months, you're putting $600 in, versus investor B puts the money in the market, same $100 a month, but it's fluctuating. It's going down and then it's going back up again. Okay. So they're putting the 2 of them are putting the same $600 in. Okay. Only one is doing it in a down market and then back up again, and not even as high as, it just went down and as high as it was. Okay. So the net result of that is that the first investor, where the market was just going up, okay, they put their money in, and every time they bought the shares, it was $10 a share when they started out, just like investor B, but the market went up. Okay. So the cost of the shares was higher, so they got less shares. Okay. Versus this market went down, $7 a share, they got more. So the net effect of this, if you total up all of the shares that they bought, investor A bought 42 shares, investor B bought 126 shares, okay? Because it went down, got cheaper, and then went up again. Okay. And over that period of time, investor B, okay, ended up at $10 a share. He had 126 shares. So that's $1,260 worth of value. Investor A had 42 shares times $5 a share is about 200 and change. So this person made out many times better, okay, than investor A. When you're putting your money in the market and it's fluctuating, especially down like it had been recently and still is a little down, that's a very positive thing for you if you're not going to retire in the very near future, 2, 3, 4 years, because you're buying inexpensive shares. And when the market goes up again, and that's all the market ever does, that's all it's ever been doing since I've been licensed, since 1982, and paying real close attention to it, is it goes down and it goes up and it goes down and it goes up. Only it keeps getting a little bit higher, like kind of like watching a person go up the stairs with a yo-yo. So it's going up and down, but generally in an upward trend. And using that to accumulate shares, the name of the game is to collect shares. Okay. So don't be afraid of fluctuation. If you're very close to retirement, you got to make some moves that are defensive. That's one thing. But if you're young, wish the stock market stays low for as long as possible. Okay. So dollar cost averaging, we were just talking about discipline and diversification is really where it's at in the world of investments. So I'm going to actually let everybody else get on with their lives, unless if anybody has any questions on anything, I'll be happy to answer them. But I appreciate. Oh, I know what I needed to do. I appreciate your attention. If you want a copy of your credit report, you can go online and just Google TransUnion if you want, or Experian or Equifax. You can do the whole thing online. If you want, you can call them. Okay, these are the numbers. I would suggest that, take a shot, a photograph of the screen of your screen and just go ahead and call them, because, if you haven't done that, you need to do it and get a report from one of them. Okay. And, look at it and see if there's any changes to be made, and make your changes, wait like 60 days, and then you can go get the second one for free. And then you can go get, see if it changed. If not, make some changes. And so you can spread this out over like, 4 or 6 months, and you can pretty much work it so you can get everything taken care of that you need to take care of. Am I sharing my screen? I can't.
No, not right now.
No, not right now.
You stopped
Oh,
sharing.
sorry about that. Let me just let me do that. Pardon me. Okay. That's what I was talking about. TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. So either take a screenshot or take a picture of it. And do it, I mean, and even if you haven't done it in a while, do it. It's good to keep an eye on it, And this is a survey for us, and also you can use it if you do one. I will send you, put your email address and stuff, and I will send you a copy of the How Money Works book, a PDF copy. And so if you would do that survey, tell me what you think. And and this is my contact information. If I can help anybody, even informationally or whatever, feel free to give me a call or email me. I got both on that. And if you're not into scanning QR codes, go ahead and take a picture of that. That's this will hunt me down wherever I am, especially the cell number. Any other number I have, my assistant will pick it up. So if you want to talk to me, call this one. Okay. So take a picture of this one too. Okay. So what I would recommend is that everybody create a written plan for your spending. We won't use the B word, budget, Rosie, but create a written plan for your spending. Okay. If you have any debt, create a written plan for your debt reduction. Investigate a secondary income source. I'm telling you, that's a big deal. Even if you only use that income source to pay down your debt and then be done with it. But, just throw in an advertisement here. Our company is just a great vehicle to use for a secondary income source. If anybody ever wants to talk about that, I'd be happy to. Get a current credit report, like we said. Seek the help of a financial professional. Okay. And get and read the book, How Money Works. Definitely get your hands on one of those. It's just a phenomenal vehicle. It's just something that everybody ought to get their hands on one of them. We have been putting that out there since 1977. I came on board with the company in 1981, and I'm telling you, we have changed millions of lives, and those concepts have also launched thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses. Okay. People in the financial services business, starting their own business. So again, I'd like to thank you guys for your attention tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope something, we had to say can help you. And again, if anybody ever needs anything, if I can do anything, even informationally for anyone, please feel free to get in touch with me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Marty. We appreciate it. This is a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information that we truly, truly appreciate. Truly drop some gems. Before everyone drops off, we do have a couple of prizes to give away. So we don't want to negate that. But does anyone have any questions for our host tonight, our financial expert, Marty Siciliano? Does anyone have any final questions or remarks for our amazing host tonight? All right, Miss Latoya, one of our executive team members.
Yes, I had a question. I wanted to get Mr. Marty's opinion on like real estate investments and how in the, I guess broad scheme of options for investing, like where would you put investing your money in real estate, like in order of like importance compared to other types of investments?
Well, number one, you need someplace to live. So if you're talking about a personal home, I'm, obviously all for that. If you're going to get into investing in real estate, there are better times to do it than others. And right now is not a really great time to do it because you're paying extremely premium rates on the homes if you can find them. Okay. And that's why you're paying extremely premium rates on them. And you're paying high mortgage rates. Okay. So the way that you make money on a piece of real estate is by buying it right, is what it's called. So you buy it when it's at a low ebb, because everything is cyclical, right? The real estate market is cyclical. The stock market is cyclical. So you've got to buy at a point in time where you can make money on it. You can't buy a very expensive house like you would buy now and say, oh, I'm going to put this into it and I'm going to make it look better and I'm going to do this decor. Not the way it works. Okay. The way it works is you buy it right. And it's very difficult right now to buy it right. And then to hold it for very long, it's going to be very expensive. If you're just doing a construction thing, get a construction loan and then just sell it or invest the money and sell it, then, that's one thing, but it's still not a great time to do it. But when you deal with real estate, the other thing I'd really caution about is it always costs more than you think it's going to cost to do the job right. It always going to take longer to do the job right than you thought it was. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay. And you may have to sit on that house for a while before you flip it or sell it, or what are you going to do? And it always takes longer to do that. Okay. So just, you got to have some staying power. You can't do it on a shoestring budget. You have to have more money than you think you need at your disposal to pull it off right. At least that's been my experience and the experience of many of my clients. That's not to say that you can't make money on it. If you buy it right and you even hold it, you can get an income stream from it. Okay, absolutely. Okay, but if you buy it at a high mortgage rate and you buy it at a high price rate, my son is looking for a house in Bergen County, New Jersey. When you pull up to an open house and there's 50 people standing on the front lawn to get into the open house, you know you got a problem. Okay. Everything is bid up now. Okay. And it's gotten better. Now there's only 10 people standing on the front lawn. But it's a very competitive environment. So I would choose my timing carefully. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much for answering that.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thanks again, you guys. JR, Rosie.
Yes, thank
Buddy.
you. JR, do you have anything else
That's
that you want to add before we give away our 2 gift cards?
No.
I want anyone else
Thank you,
chopping
Marty.
off?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Marty. Thank you very much. I will be following up with you for some additional information as I take my journey into self-employment.
Oh, are you doing that really?
I am. So
I'd love to talk to you about it. 'cause
I would
I
love
could
to
help.
talk to you too. Trust me.
All right, we'll touch base. That's
Yes,
great.
absolutely.
All
All right,
right.
everyone. So I'm
I'll
gonna
see you
put. Thank you
guys.
so much, Marty. Have a
Thank
good one.
you. Take care of yourselves, all of you.
Okay, you
Have a good
too.
night.